Humankind has endured countless ailments, diseases, and pandemics over the centuries. Deaths upon deaths upon deaths. Here are the 5 worst plagues in human history. 1. HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus. This virus is alive and well in today's society, but can fortunately be managed with a cocktail of drugs. However, with its rise in the 1980s, it has killed over 35 million people. Flu-like symptoms would arise a few weeks after exposure, although it is possible to not experience any symptoms at all.
You carry HIV for anywhere from 10 to 15 years with no symptoms whatsoever, and most people don't even know it.
This is dangerous, as an infected person would not know to seek treatment.
But what's going on underneath is it's slowly attacking the immune system, taking it down piece by piece by piece for a long period of time until eventually you hit stage 3.
At this point, the immune system is extremely weak and vulnerable. This would show through weight loss, chronic coughing, and various lung and skin infections.
And this is what we call AIDS, full-blown AIDS. And eventually, it's one of those opportunistic infections that actually kills the person.
Malaria threatens half of the world's population. While there's never been a specific outbreak, this disease is still notable for its numbers.
In 2015, more than 212 million people contracted malaria, and that's actually down 29% from 2010.
Thanks to modern medicine, it was only fatal to about 500,000 people. The female of the Anopheles species of mosquito is responsible for the spread of malaria. However, it is caused by a single-cell organism that multiplies inside of our red blood cells. First symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, extreme exhaustion, and anemia follows.
This anemia weakens the body, weakens the immune system, makes you prone to infections, and can cause blood clots that can form in your brain.
There is currently no vaccine for malaria despite major efforts. 3. The first occurrences of the infamous bubonic plague killed a collective 75 million people. This is excluding the Black Death.
The Black Death occurred between 1347 and 1351. It only lasted 4 years, but it killed nearly 200 million people, or 30 to 60% of the population of Europe.
300 years later, the Plague of London killed a fourth of the city's population.
Your lymph nodes would swell up to the size of chicken eggs. These are known as buboes, hence the name bubonic. And from there, things get really fun, because then your skin breaks out in fluid-filled cysts and boils all over your body.
Extremities like fingers and toes would then turn black as the body tissue died and rotted. You'd expire shortly after. 4. The Spanish flu is sometimes referred to as the forgotten pandemic because it was overshadowed by World War I.
This particular strain of flu found its way around the world and infected 500 million people, killing over 100 million people in 1 year.
The Spanish flu was more deadly in a short amount of time than any other disease and is considered one of the worst diseases in history.
This one actually mostly killed healthy young people, and it's thought because it caused a cytokine storm in your immune system. So if you had a strong immune system, it actually turned that immune system against your body. So the stronger your immune system, the more likely it was to kill you.
5. The death toll of this disease is unimaginable, and there are some indications that it has existed for at least 3,000 years. This is smallpox.
It has killed, estimated, over 500 million people. If you get smallpox, there's a 1 in 3 chance that you're gonna die.
Europe during the Middle Ages was ravaged by smallpox. Peasants and monarchs were killed alike.
In the centuries after Europeans landed in the Americas, nearly 90% of Native American populations were wiped out by not only smallpox, but typhoid and cholera and tuberculosis as well.
It would start with fever, headache, sweating, and a rash. Then, similar to the bubonic plague, the rash would form into gruesome pustules all over the body.
These pustules managed to do a couple of things. One is spread it to other people very easily and open up your body to infections that came in and wiped you out.
If that wasn't enough, a type called sledgehammer smallpox caused you to bleed uncontrollably out of all your sores until you died a quick and horrific death. But a miracle emerged from the disease's ferocity.
A physician named Edward Jenner noticed that milkmaids who had come down with cowpox, which is a much milder form of pox, were immune to smallpox. And he wondered why.
His theory that cowpox inoculated against smallpox was right.
So once this was proven to work, countries around the world began to mandate smallpox vaccinations to their populations, and it eventually completely wiped out the disease.
In 1980, it was declared officially eradicated by the UN.